Today we're going over the 6th grade benchmark that they just took in preparation for their STAR test in a few weeks. Out of our curriculum, it's scheduled for 6.4, which is poetry, to be this week. And on 6.4 poetry, out of all 4 of us, the average percent passing was 37%. On their benchmark. On this next common assessment, our goal is to have 50% passing on 6.4. That objective for 6.4, we decided our objective for the week, rockets will understand, make inferences, draw conclusions, about the structure and elements of poetry. Along with 6.4, they also reviewed figurative language, so a second part of that objective is going to be rockets will explain how figurative language contributes to the meaning of a poem. This is what we'll practice every single day with our students, and by the end of the week they need to have mastered. Along with looking at the benchmark, we reviewed what kind of questioning they were asked and how they scored. On question number 13, that essential question that we're going to be also practicing with our students. Number 1, what is theme? And when we look back, that was question number 13 on their benchmark. Second question we need to review are question number 14. What are elements of poetry? Third question, question number 20. What are stanzas? Question number 4 was, essential question number 4 was off of question 21, what is figurative language? And the last one, that was question 22 through 24, and that was how does figurative language contribute to the meaning of a poem? Okay, so our objective, our essential questions, our goal. For our ESL accommodations, this special population scored particularly low in poetry, so for the next week our accommodations will have sentence stems, making sure that everyone here has plenty of bilingual dictionaries since there was a shortage. We're going to, after school and during lunch, we'll hold our ESL kids for tutoring, and we're going to be doing pre-teaching vocabulary. And lastly, we need to better organize our strategic grouping. So we need to make sure that we know who our ESL students are and what their levels are. beginning, intermediate, and advanced, and making sure that they're combined accordingly without beginning, intermediate, advanced, high, advanced. And making sure that all of these accommodations we're practicing. If we do that, that should tremendously help our scores go up to 50%. So this is what we're doing differently. We always have had our objective and our essential questions, but we're going to add in these accommodations that not just the ESL teacher is doing, but also everyone else. Because even though it's meant for ESL, we think it's going to help our special populations, including at-risk and special ed. And we want to practice, especially the strategic grouping. District is going to be coming to look at that, and they want to see how our grouping is done. So if you need me to help you with it, let me know. We're going to divide up all our students into quintiles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll notice that in the lower quintiles, you'll see a lot of the ESL and special ed and other special populations. And let's see. On the day of the benchmark, when administration was walking around, they noticed that not everybody was using their dictionaries. There was very few students that were actually using them. A lot of them had some on their desk, but they never picked them up. So we need to come up with ways to practice our dictionary skills at the same time. That is TEAC 6.2. And so even though 6.4 is our main TEAC for the week, we need to somehow think of ways to embed 6.2 dictionary skills. Some of the things that we thought about doing in our leadership meeting, we can do competition games and practice that way with the students. So at least spending about 15 or 20 minutes a day doing some sort of exercise where they're competing. Everyone has their dictionary, you give them a word, and it's not just who finds it first, but everyone in the group finds it, they'll get a point. So there's no, oh, well, I am not going to be able to get it first, so I won't get a point. Making sure that everyone has plenty of time to find it and they all have the opportunity. And this way we'll find out who has the dictionary skills and who doesn't, who needs extra time. And so not only will we be pre-teaching vocabulary to some of the students, we'll also be pulling them in to practice dictionary skills. How are we doing on time, Chris?
8 minutes.
15. Okay, so let's talk about what are some other ideas that y'all can think of that you think might help our students to help them with poetry and
do we ever do anything visual when it comes to teaching them the vocabulary? Like, metaphors and similes?
And that's what we need to find some more of, because we have Prentice Hall and we have, and I mean, they have the books with the pictures and all, but we need more, a stronger sense of vocabulary with that. And so one of the things we can do, I'm going to erase some of this to make room. We're going to practice the Frere model. And I'll show y'all what that looks like. Okay. So for, let's say, simile. And we want to do the Frere model with our students. For each vocabulary word, it's a simile. The students will make a box. In one corner they write the word, the definition in another, a synonym, and a picture. So this is where they'll get their visual. And an extension of that, so an extension of their Frere model, we can have them design, after they make their Frere model for all of their figurative language words, they can choose one and make a poster. And so their word, and they'll get to be very creative and make their, like, a larger scale picture of the definition. And these will post up in the classroom and decorate with, so they're more visual and they're everywhere. Because I know some of us have our decorations up with the words and a picture, but it's much more meaningful when it's the student's art and the student's picture of the word. So practicing the fair model with the extension is another thing we can do. So now to break up the actual schedule, how all of this timeline will work. You have an hour and a half in class. First 15 minutes needs to be some sort of warm-up. This can be, usually is answering an essential question. So on Monday, the first essential question, which was what is theme? That's probably what I'll have up on the board. We'll say, answer essential question. That's their warm-up. And 5 essential questions, 5 days of the week. So each one. Then the next 30 minutes, actually it'll be about an hour. But within this hour they're rotating, because remember there's strategic grouping. So in this hour, there should be one station that's doing the actual objective high content poetry reading. So poetry reading, so it's going to be divided. One station's poetry reading, one is Frayer model, they'll be doing their vocabulary. And another one will be doing dictionary skills. And they'll be doing the competition in this group. And lastly, the 4th group is going to be with me, or with us. They'll be doing some sort of small group session with us. So small group with teacher. And what I would recommend using for the small group would be their benchmark that they did a couple weeks ago, taking the poetry out of there, and that be the small group, what we're reading. So they're going to be re-looking at what they've already done. They're going to see a new poem in one station. They're going to be doing Frayer model in another station, and they'll be practicing dictionary skills in another. 4 stations, rotating within the hour, so 15 minutes at each one. So they'll be constantly doing different things, and they should be engaged. The last 15 minutes is our closure. I usually like to go back to the essential questions, so I'll ask again, what is theme? So answer essential question. And some sort of summarization. So they should as well summarize what they learned. So this is for the week. For this week, our goal, our TEAC, our objective, we did our essential questions, we did our accommodations plan, we did our timeline, our strategic grouping and our rotations, introduction, and closure. How do y'all feel about this?
Very strong.
Sounds strong.
Okay. You think they'll be engaged?
Especially with the rotations.
Yeah, we always want to try and do rotations as much as possible. In strategic grouping, we'll practice. We can work on that tomorrow in our group. We'll share ideas and share what quintiles our students are at and how we want to divide them. And if y'all need help with that, I'll help you with that. And I think that's everything. I think we have our plan good to go. And I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, and so I think we'll be able to make the 50% passing on our accommodation, which is our common assessment, which will be Friday. And that'll be just a quick, like 20-minute common assessment, nothing long. And that'll give us a quick review over 6.4 and 6.2. All right?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Okay.